Spaces is a fairly new feature on Twitter. If you know Clubhouse, it's basically the same thing. It's a voice chat, but directly on Twitter. And it brings the discussion to a completely new level. So before that, you could only tweet text messages, GIFs and videos and do some fleets. But with the voice chat with Spaces, you can talk to other people, which is super cool. And I've compiled here a list for you to think about what to do when you're hosting your own space so it will be successful. And I know that not everybody has access right now to Spaces, but if you stay till the very end, I have some tips that might help. So here we go. Welcome to my channel, my name is Chris, and today we'll be talking about Twitter Spaces and how to host them successfully. So over the last few weeks I was joining a lot of Spaces and I was even hosting a few of them myself. And one of the first things that I can tell you is take care of your phone battery. Because so far there is no desktop version of Twitter Spaces, so you need to run it on your phone. And because of the whole voice thing, it can run out of battery quite quickly. And this is something that happened to me recently. I was using regular cable headphones and I ran out of juice. So I had to constantly plugging the charger and plugging the headphones, plugging the charger, plugging the headphones. And it was super distracting, I can tell you, especially when you run the space as a host. You have to stay on the topic and listen to what happens. So what I just got today is this cable splitter, which allows me to charge and use my headphones at the same time. Maybe you should get something like that. The other option is to use Bluetooth headphones. If you have good quality Bluetooth headphones, then go for it. This is even a better choice. So you can stay plugged in and you can still use your headphones. Speaking of headphones, take care of a good microphone quality. It doesn't matter if they're wired or Bluetooth. Make sure that your voice will be heard well. And in general, it doesn't matter if you're a host or any of the other speakers, try to reduce any sort of background noise. It is super annoying for everybody if there's some clicking, yelling and shouting or whatever in the space. Sometimes it's funny, but most of the time I think it's quite distracting for the discussion. So please take care of this, mute yourself if you need to, and get rid of the noise source if possible. Now, one of the key elements for success of a space are speakers. You need speakers to be able to have a discussion. So try to find people that are relevant to the topic and have a discussion with them. Because if you go without speakers, I don't think you will be able to keep it interesting long enough. Unless you want to go with a monologue, but I don't think Spaces was built for that. You can always start instantly a space. You can do it right now in this moment. But my personal advice is to plan for this event. Drum the rules for this event ahead of time. Let people know when it will happen so they can make time for it. Make them excited for this event. So what I like to do is I post a tweet a few days before the actual event and on the very same day. And this is a great place where you can say what the topic will be, so what you will be talking about. You can promote your speakers. Think about it. I mean, they are taking the time out of the day to be on your stage. So give them credit, and you should provide the exact time when this event will happen. And when you think about the time itself, know that most of your listeners are not from your time zone. So provide multiple time zones. Start with the Greenwich Mean Time, the GMT time zone, and add a few other ones from the Eastern Coast, from Indian time, Central European, summertime, and give people the chance to know exactly when it will happen, and so they can plan for it the right way. And there's one more thing that you can do. I saw it recently with another space. Use a Google Calendar link in your post or in the reply of your post so people can use it directly and add this event to their calendar. Nothing simpler than that, right? Okay, I think it's time to talk about the topic. Try to keep it broad enough, not too tight, because you want to have enough ground to discover for more discussions. But don't keep it too broad either, because you will lose focus on the actual topic if you have too much options there. Let me give you some examples. So there could be a space where you'll be talking about the work as a developer. It's pretty hard. What it will be about, to understand what it will be about. Is it the work itself? Is it the environment? Is it the JavaScript framework or the Python framework that you'll be using? It could be anything in any detail, right? So if you take another example where there is a specific focus and it's still broad enough, let's give an example here, how to deal with stress as a developer. Then you have so much options there, but you're still staying in one certain field. And this will lead the discussion in a good direction. Does it make sense? Right, so while you're letting somebody speak, you can keep an eye on the listeners. Watch out for the emojis they are using. Everybody can use up to, I think, 5-6 different emojis showing if they are agreeing or not. But this is the only indicator that you will get from your listeners. Well, this and people leaving, of course. And try to understand if the discussion is going in the right direction. Every now and then you should as well bring up some speakers onto this stage. You can hold some listeners, or you can just accept requests that listeners are doing if they want to speak. Just know that there are only 10 slots for speakers, so be mindful of that. You can't bring everybody on stage. And by the way, not all speakers are the same. There are some speakers that are talking a lot, and there are speakers that are more shy. So try to be fair and give everybody enough speech time. But don't put people on the spot. People don't like that. One of the things that can be very helpful is having a co-host. Technically, Twitter doesn't support co-hosts or co-moderators, but you can still find somebody that will help you in the discussion and take over some responsibility. It is a lot of stress. You have the speakers, you have the listeners, you have to look on various actions and promote people onto the stage. So it's really good if somebody can take off a little bit of the load from you. So maybe this is something that will make your first space even easier for you. Okay, this one is important. Prepare questions, a lot of them, for your speakers. You will need them when a discussion round is completed and there's nothing more to be added. You don't want to have this awkward moment of silence, so this is your chance to bring in the next question and keep the discussion flowing. And trust me, you don't want to come up with new questions while the discussion is going on. This is super stressful. I tried it once, not working really out. And these questions form some sort of a guideline or agenda, if you will. And don't worry if you don't get all questions out. You can always have another session. Better having more questions than not enough. Also, what you should think of is time. You need to reserve time for your space. There are different lengths of spaces and you can't possibly know how long it will take. You can have a fixed time, of course. You can say this space will be exactly 1 hour and that's it and I'm turning off. But most sessions are open-end. So I was in spaces that took just half an hour, and I was in spaces that were longer than even 5 hours. If the discussion is good, it will go on forever. So try to keep that in mind. Have enough spare time for your space, especially when you're a host, because at the moment, technically nobody can take over. Somebody would have to restart the space to be able to move on. So think about time, how much you want to reserve it for it. Maybe even tell people upfront that this is a space that will take up to 2-3 hours. This is the time I'm providing here, and let everybody know. Okay, we've come to the end almost. I have the last topic here, and this is about organizational things. What you should do is, especially when you plan a space in advance, create a direct message group on Twitter with the speakers that you already chosen. This will help you to organize things up front already, exchange some ideas, questions, and where the agenda will be going. And at the same time, it will help you during the space to exchange information without having to speak aloud. So things like, for example, who wants to take the next question? You could write it in a direct message group and somebody will say, yes, I will take it, and move on. This is helpful. Maybe you want to exchange other information. This helped a lot in the recent spaces that I was having. Okay, I think this is all that I have to say about it today. And as promised, here comes the tip how to get spaces if you don't have it yet. So what I've heard so far, and I think it makes totally sense, is to be in as many spaces as you can be. Be part of the discussion, try to get on stage and talk with others. I think at some point you will be eligible to get access to spaces as a host. And what helps for sure is try to update your Twitter app on your phone and restart Twitter. Sometimes new features are only visible when you restart the app. And then you should be able to see exactly where the tweet icon is. Just hold it and you should see the space logo. If not, just wait a few more weeks. They are rolling it out right now. It should be soon on your phone as well. I hope you will enjoy this feature. I certainly do. I had so many good discussions with the community I'm in right now. I love this feature. It opened up a completely new world to me, and I hope you will have the same fun as I have. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, I will be very happy to have you as a subscriber, and I hope I will see you next time. And in the meantime, I wish you bug-free code.